you feel like, do you feel that it has any connection to knowing God better or getting closer to God to fast?
Hanan, you want to answer first?
Okay, so when I fast to get to know God better, I feel when um, fasting to me this year, what I learned is when fasting is one side of the equation. Like fasting is one way to feel the connection. Every time you feel tired or hungry, or not hungry, I really don't feel hungry as much, maybe tired sometimes. So every time you feel tired, I remember that the only one to overcome this tiring is to remember God, or to think about God, or to do something spiritual, or hear something spiritual. And this will lift my spirit up and take the tiring feeling away, really. This is one thing, but I feel the other part that makes me really connect to God is when I invite people to eat with me. I feel that takes effort, and when I do it, I feel that I do it just because I want to know people more. Maybe I can help them more. Maybe they can help me more, and this is the other part that makes me connect. I don't know.
So the spiritual for me, and I agree, I've really loved is being in the company of others, to have breakfast, and that's what it is, breakfast at sunset. And when I speak to children about Ramadan, I say, do you know that all of you fast also in your life every day? And they look. I said, think about it. When you're sleeping, are you eating? Are you drinking? They all say, laughing, no. I said, so when you wake up, what do you have for your first meal? And they're all like, breakfast. I said, well, breakfast, break, fast. And so that's one of the ways I feel, though, even though it's kind of like a big dinner, it can be, but it is our breakfast, is being in the company of others. And prayer is important. And I can say that we've tried in our family at least to pray the prayer in the after the breakfast together, to pause. And that's what it is, to pause and to, be mindful. Also, even fasting is about the spirit and the mind, and you're supposed to not be gossiping. Those bad thoughts in your mind, like, oh, I can't stand, and like, it's Ramadan. Even I'm really good at reminding myself, because I'm really good at trying to remind my kids, wait a minute, it's Ramadan. Don't let that make you feel something negative, when we should be in a place of peace. And in the end, that's what is about. I mean, being a Muslim, it's about submission to
I was
being
going to say that.
to be at peace with the will of God.
No, I just wanted to make a comment that this is fantastic, by the way, and we're not that much different in terms of what that really calls you to do when you fast, is really submitting not to yourself, because you're right, you can't have your gum, you have to stop and say, nope, I really am hungry, but I'm choosing not to eat. And that's a submission, and that is what really trains you to submit to bigger things and more higher thinking, spiritual thing, I think. Because I think that's really the key to getting closer to God, is being able to humble out and say, yep, I am choosing to not do this, even though I want to, because I know that God actually will sustain me. I think that's the key. I'm very immature at it, but when you said submission, so true. So, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Are we going to answer to your flesh, or you're going to stop and think and answer to something else?
I like that.
So thank you so much, because this really has broadened my thoughts on Ramadan and Muslim and all of that. And I think that, unfortunately, the few in radical Muslim really paint such a horrid picture that it doesn't help. And so I'm glad that you could go and help people in Florida or wherever, and just kind of be the face of somebody who's not following some horrid thing.
I know.